Everybody's looking good out there. Hi guys, I'm Paint with Josh. Nice to see you again. It's gonna be a fun little seascape of an evening tonight, as we're gonna redo one of the paintings that we did before, and we're gonna do it for Schlinst and her awesome husband that have become excellent Paint with Josh customers. So, as you can see, I have my black 16 by 20 inch canvas that I put my liquid clear on, right? So you can buy the canvases just black, then you put your liquid clear across the entire thing. And now we've come to this point where we're taking our phthalo green color, we're kind of popping it up here in the top, letting it blend down, not all the way down, right? We don't even want to go to halfway. Then we're gonna come in here, we're gonna pop in the eye of our wave right there, right? Just about under halfway, under the half part of our canvas. A little bit of our phthalo green color. We don't need to have too much. Now we're gonna drop down 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and we're going to just come way over here, all the way over to this side. Start dropping on that green and then getting lower and lower and lower and lower. That way we're leaving a 2-inch gap. You see that? So it starts higher up here, ends lower down here. You can pull it in from this side too, however you want. All right, there's only 3 beautiful colors to this awesome painting, and I want you to tell me what they are. What do you think the 3 colors are that we're gonna use in this painting as we come over here and we start launching in this other color? And if you're an avid fan or an avid watcher of the Paint with Josh show, then you'll know exactly what color this is just based off of where it sits on my palette, right? So let it kind of scrape up just a little bit. There we go. Push it real hard. Come back underneath here. If you haven't guessed it already, it's Dioxazine Purple from the Gamblin set. One of my favorite colors to use. Literally a gorgeous color, you guys. Fabulous. Underneath that guy, again, back to the purple paint. And we're gonna load up the black canvas. Wherever there is no paint, there will be purple paint, right? Wherever there's no green, there will be purple. You can sort of see the green areas, a little bit harder to see the purple areas, okay? What we're gonna do too is just dab off my brush on paper towel to get a little bit more of that phthalo green and just let it streak out from the top corner, out into that purpley bit. So we'll have some little mix, a little mixture up here. Doesn't need to be everywhere. Remember, we need that dark purple section back there to have all of our clouds, shadows, and such. Okay, so phthalo green, purple, then we got purple along our back horizon back there, right above the eye, which is phthalo green, then purple in this patch right here, then we got our phthalo green, then purple along the bottom. So let's wash off this brush so we can start painting, you guys. Yeah. So like I said, this is a commission piece. It is not available, and I do have many others over there on paintwithjosh.com over there. You gotta get over and find them. Very cool. Now, once I dab off my brush on my paper towel over here, getting out all that wetness, I'm gonna tell you the 3 colors that we're working with. Dioxazine purple, phthalo green, titanium white. Titanium white. We're gonna come in here with a little bit of our titanium white, just get it out there onto our brush. And then we get to decide how bright it starts to get as we start crisscrossing and allowing the paint to push and blend its way out into the night, right? The more brightness that I have up here, the harder it's going to be to keep my clouds bright, right, or brighter, and have my little moon out there be brighter if my sky is already too bright. So we're just gonna put on that paint, just let it flow its way down towards our horizon line, which is in the center, and you can see it's a lot brighter up here. We can take it and push it and pull it and smush it on as hard as we can, right, to get that thing to spread across. It's all up to us. However many times we do it, we can always do it a little bit differently. Isn't that cool out there? Now we're gonna grab a little fan brush for Schlinst and her husband, this one, guys. That's really gonna be cool. Take our fan brush out here with our white paint on it again. We're just gonna pop a little, like a little X shape, whatever it is, okay? All we need it to be is slightly brighter than the sky. So if you made your sky too bright and you don't have this brighter area in there, then our moon is not going to stand out, which is why we always say, you guys. Just trying to pick up my brush. You can always add more paint. Can't take it away once it's up there, right? It's one of the famous Paint with Josh sayings. We're gonna come right up here into that bright spot, give the canvas a little high five with our brush. We're gonna stabilize it with this hand. We're gonna twist it with our right hand to the left, right? and not allow that center bit to move. So as we're moving, lighter, lighter, lighter. It's very soft. Cool little bit of a moon out there in the day. Thought I was gonna say in the night, didn't ya? Didn't ya? Right? If you push real hard, you'll leave a dark space in the center of that moon. And then you gotta go back over it like I just did, very softly. Right, that's all we did. Now, put that filbert brush away. Let's get back onto our big old monster fan brush out here. All right, pull onto our paint just a little bit. Right, a little bit brighter, more paint than we had back here in this place. Now, we're gonna make an enormous old cloud, just literally smushing and pushing. Haven't even used the other side of the brush yet, because you can still see the white versus the green that it has become. Haven't even used the full bit of paint yet. So midstream, we can turn it around and pop a little bit more brightness on there. Now, if we only have a little bit of paint, it's not gonna grow very far. If we have a lot of bit of paint, it's gonna grow further. All right, so if you don't have enough, let's add a little, but never go too much. It's never really more than about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna have way too much paint, and make sure you have differences. Areas of heavier paint where it's brighter white, less heavy paint, no paint, you know what I mean? Spread out, kind of thick, kind of not. That way, when you get up here and you start our little mixes, very quick little mixes, and then pull away. Remember, the more that you stay in one place like that, the more it's going to over-mix the paint, and it will all look the same, okay? So as we get out here, very softly, along the top where it's bright, and then very firmly back here to make it blend away, right? We are in control, you guys, literally. How do we want it to look? You want to have a lot of differences up there? You want to get up there and make that part a little softer, or go in front of the thing so it looks a little wispy? Again, all up to you, because you guys have the paintbrush in your hand. You have the power to make it look however you want. Right? Little bits of brightness right on the top. Now we're gonna go across them very, very gingerly. Very soft, so soft. Pop, thing, pow, get at it. Move a couple times, a couple of swipes, and we're gone and gone and gone. That way we're not staying in one place for too long. See how we rhyme around here? Very cool. Now again, the more that we mix it down, the more we push on that paint with much more firmness, the more it blends away, becomes part of our sky in the background, right? Now we'll come back. We don't need much paint left. What in the goodness? There's something somewhere on a brush handle that has been just pocketed right into my thumb pit right here. What is this area called of your hand anyway? When you have an arm pit, an elbow pit, why not a thumb pit? It's just, I mean, I'm no medical professional, but it sounds good to me. Okay, now we're gonna get back up here. Very small amount of paint. We don't even really need much else. We're gonna drop down into the darkness and pretend that the top of this next cloud is in that same dark area where we were, right? We have our brightness to dark, brightness to dark, brightness. Boo-boos! Just don't let them get too close. Remember, if they get too close and too wild and too crazy, then they're gonna become the same cloud, right? And that's not what we want. Again, come back up here, even with the dirty brush, right? Just flicking over the paint, boom. Flick it, move, right? Don't stay in one spot for too long or it'll all blend together, which is not what you want to have. A little bit more along the bottom, like I said, more pressure, more mixes along the bottom will help it mix into a darker thing, right? And remember, we're using such a small amount of paint up here, you guys. The more paint that you have, the more bigger your clouds are gonna become, right? Then you are gonna have to decide when to stop touching the canvas, because that's literally what it comes down to. Maybe I want a little bit of this brightness back here just to help it kind of feed back a little bit. Maybe we drag it down a little more, but we don't want to let them get too close, right? You let them get too close, then I don't know what to tell you. I would have told you 1,000,000 times already. Don't let them get too close. Right? This guy's got a little old flat little spot because we're still got a little bit of space. We drop down a whole other little thing. Bang, out there in the day, right? Whatever we want, you guys, the more we mix it very softly. You can just take these guys and just slide them around, right? More bits of depth and detail out there in the day. Very cool. Okay, I gotta start switching. In the night. All right, that sounds more like it. That sounds more like old Joshy Pants over here. Whoops. Dropping my brushes every which way, guys. Very soft, very soft. The more I push on it, the more it's going to dissipate. Remember, it will go away. Now, for our last and final tool that we'll be using, we're literally using the 1 and 2 inch, right? Plus a fan brush. There we go. Plus our palette tool. And then for the very last thing, we'll go and sign our brush with our liner brush. But remember, guys, I want to thank you. Maybe the people over on Facebook, you might not know already, but the Paint with Josh brushes, the first set, the Gen 1s, are officially gone. Every single person who was able to get one has already gotten one, meaning they have no more in stock. So I want to thank you guys so much. Everybody who got one on the book or TikTok or the tube over there, right? Wherever you're always watching, if you grabbed a Paint with Josh brush set, I love you forever. And they are officially now gone. So we've designed a new set. I'm going to be leaving 2 of the brushes out of the new set, making it smaller, more economical for everybody. And then I also want to do an add-on kit to the people who've already got the first one, and maybe do a couple extra fan brushes because I know they get worn out, and then 1 extra liner brush and the filbert brush. We're going to move the filbert brush from the kit to the add-on kit. I think that's what I plan on doing anyway. So we're going to get out here. We're going to pull it down. Just like that, right? It's got a little bit of green in it. Who cares? It's mainly white. It's going to mix over some purple. So we're going to scrape it up, literally. Come up here. Now we have our eye of our wave here. We have our sky horizon back there, right? And then we just want to drop just below that and just above this guy right here, right? So if you leave an intense amount of space beneath your sky and your clouds, right? Like a huge amount of space, it's going to make it look odd and funny, right? And we don't want to do that. We want to scrape out here. Couple little bits, little bobs. Maybe we'll leave this guy. I'll have a little extra back piece of detail back there. And remember, don't scrape on too much paint. And we're trying to do it sort of like a triangle, right? Not everywhere has to be supremely bright, by the way. But it's kind of flat on this side, flat along the top, and then that little downward angle, because you can see it goes from point to a bigger space, okay? Now, that's left us with about 1 finger worth of space between our eye of our wave and the top of our last wave. And in order to project even further distance, which we didn't do in the painting before, I just had the 1 wave, we're going to cut in front of this guy right here. So we're going to kind of climb up and cut in front of our horizon, right? And that way it'll look like the wave is cresting over the thing close to us, crashing down on the ground. Okay? It doesn't need to be crazily big. We're going to have a little disconnection right there. And then we're going to get sharper and sharper and sharper on our triangles. You know, we're coming to a point like this. That way these guys we can take backwards. Little things, little things, little things. Remember, we don't have to put too much paint up there. It's not all going to be the same color all the time. It's not all going to be supremely bright or whatever. It just never is, okay? Now, since we're on this angle up, we've changed it from a very flat angle out there to a very slight upward angle, which would go through, right through our little horizon right there, right? We don't necessarily need any paint back here. We don't need to paint that spot or put any paint any further along that spot, because now our wave is rolled up and over the horizon. The crest of this guy becomes the new horizon on this side, and then we get a further away horizon in the background. We do all these things for a reason, you guys. Literally for a reason, to make it easier for you to do it, right? Quite honestly. Remember, if you're watching over on the tubes over there, just give me a thumbs up. That's all we need. Hit that like button. It'll encourage more people to come in. And if you don't believe me, do a little test. Try it. Watch the numbers. Where's YouTube? It's over here. Watch the numbers go up. Telling you, okay? Now, we've still got maybe about a half a finger of space between our bright area and our green eye of our wave. Right? That little dark separator in there, very small. We're going to put 2 fingers right along the edge of our eye, which we can literally put in right now. Take a little bit of our paint, just kind of scrub it in, let it get skinnier. It's like a little swimmer or a treble clef or something. We have it big enough on this side down here. It may end up looking like one, right? Now again, we're going to go back. We're going to dab the brush off on paper towel, but it still has some of that color. We're going to very lightly grip onto it, kind of angling it away so we're not grabbing the whole theme. Right? Very lightly. It's just the top couple bristles that are actually contacting any paint, dragging it to the side. And we're trying to leave a gap. Still, we have to have that little separation, and we talk about it all the time, the dark separator. It kind of looks like a treble clef. A little bit. Come on, a little bit for you musical fans out there? No? Okay, we're going to put our 2 fingers in between, right? Remembering on this line right here, from that line right there, over the edge, and then what we're going to do is tap down and make a little U shape. I don't want a severe U shape. And we don't want it to just be flat either, but we're imagining, because this part gets lost, so the more paint that you put up here in this peak of the wave, it's going to disappear, okay? So don't do too much. That's why we're gonna leave a gap, but we're gonna follow along that angle, leaving that little gap, and then right there, we're gonna change our angle. So it's come up, and now it's starting to roll over, right? And all we're gonna do is tap in a little bit of paint, tap it, tap it. We're turning, we're turning, we're turning, we're turning. It's about the same size, right? The same on each one, a little bit of a tap out there in the day. And it's all up to us where that tap goes. Now let's wipe off our blade so there's nothing left on it. Let's touch up here, just the paint that's already up there. And we're going to cast it down to the corner, down here, not straight down. Don't drag it straight down like that. We're gonna come down to the corner. Now we're changing. We're getting more and more and more to the side each time we go. All right, just grabbing onto that same paint. And all of a sudden, you can see the crest of a little wave out there in the night, right? However much paint you have on there. So if you have a lot of white, it's gonna be really bright along the top. You do have to catch some of that moonlight. So you're gonna have a little bit of white on top. It doesn't have to go forever. And as you can see, if we took a line right there, we're not even at the bottom of our eye. Remember, it's going to get bigger as we add our layers. You guys know we're gonna go into our liquid white with our titanium white. We're gonna just mix it right here on the brush, about a 50-50 mix. You just judge, you know what I mean? What's 50-50 look like? Well, to me, it looks kind of like that. Can you guys zoom in and see all that? Can we get closer? Can you see, do you see all those little bits of stuff, right? Over here on the bookie book, on the chubby tubes, on the tiki-taki, right? Do you see all those little texturous bits? You need those because you have to have some body of paint in order for it to drag out and turn into a little cloud. Basically what we're doing. We're making a wetter version of these up here. And what we're gonna do is you can either come out here like this and hold it like a pencil and start tapping in a couple little oddities and little breaking water, little bits on the top. We're gonna climb up and we're gonna start to give it little smacks, little taps, getting tall, there we go. Just taller than our horizon in the background. Doesn't have to be too big or too crazy or whatever. And then we're instantly going to drop down into this dark area, but staying closer to this guy than that guy. Because again, our paint is gonna wanna grow as soon as we start to touch it with our other brush, right? So we're just kind of smacking it, leaving a very small little dark gap. And it doesn't have to stay dark. You can get all the way up into that guy, right? You can cover over the peak if you don't like your peak. We're gonna come spray water, or not water, but paint that's gonna look like water at this guy at the end anyway. So again, the more that you smack it with harder force, you'll leave a bigger section, right? Now, I am leaving little separations in between all these guys. So if we come down here and smack it again, there is darker areas, there are darker areas, and there are brighter areas. And it doesn't have to be anything, you just don't want it to be too dang big, I'm telling you, especially don't come down here and hit that green spot yet. Now, as we go over to the side, this remains flat, well, kind of flat, it's going on a little upward angle like that. And then these guys can get bigger, smaller, or whatever. But remember, if you put too much out there, it's going to extend and grow. And let me tell you what I'm talking about. So remember, we were closer to this than we were to this, because when we come up here and start making very small, very light-handed little circles, and I'm talking about just a couple bristles on the end. You see those end bristles out there? Right? Just those guys. And we're not even moving the brush enough to even have them move around and swirl. It's just kind of disturbing the paint that's up there, okay? So remember, you guys, I've probably even asked you not one time yet to just check in, tell me where you're watching from. The Paint with Josh experience. So we'll get out here and start making some cool stuff for you. Cool old stuff. You guys see that? You see all the people over on the tube, they hit that like button and then 70 more people showed up, right? So if you guys could just give me a like, give me that button over there, just the old thumbs up. If you kind of like what you're viewing or what I'm doing, give me that little like out there, right? We're gonna come out here, again, just a couple bristles, and then get out of there. Don't push too hard, firstly, right? Don't you dare push too hard. If you push too hard, right, we're just basically like floating over the top, hoping to disturb a little bit of it. That's all, right? Mix it up and then get out, step back, look at it, go, okay. If I do it one or two more times, it's gonna be too much. If I push a little harder down here, then they'll all kind of connect. Bang. How do you want it to look? Because we do it twice, remember. No matter what it looks like. We'll come back in there and we do it again, right? This area is now perfect. We have a very small, dark separation. that runs along, and it helps make the wave look like it's got that roundness to the lip of it, right? You're gonna have light on the top, meaning you're gonna have dark on the bottom side. Then we've got our space in between, which we have kept perfectly. We've got our dark separator back here. And then when we come in, watch, I'll grab a little bit of this paint up here. When we come in from this guy and we roll back up into our waves, right? We're gonna have that little barrel down there too. So it's all up to you guys. If I wanted this to extend a little bit more, push on it a little bit more, right? But I don't want it to get too dang big. Otherwise, it's gonna get too crazy. But that's perfect. So we're getting very thin. It's getting a little bit bigger away from everything. Leaves us a space to come in. All right, now we've only used that one side of the brush for that whole wave. We still have a clean side. So I'm gonna come back up here now using the clean side and hitting it less times. Up a little, out through the top, right? We didn't even cover the entire area that we covered before because, like I've been telling you, very soft, a couple little wipes. Oh, too much, and you'll definitely know that it's too much. Right now, if you don't have the right mixture of your titanium white and liquid white in here, it's going to blend away very quickly. And that means you have too much liquid white, right? If it's kind of more difficult to get it to move like it was for those clouds where we had to use more pressure, then you don't have enough liquid white. Okay, now, I do this in every video. I like to show you guys in every video how to make the most perfectly perspective little crashing wave. And we do it with our yardstick like this, okay? Now, if you've done it correctly and you have this angle going down here at the proper angle, the proper amount, and then this comes up, and then it goes down and dips under, what you will find is when you put it through the center of the wave, and I'll show you the bottom, so we can get the shadow to disappear right there. Whoop, right there, we got a straight line through the wave that is telling us where to go next, right? It's literally telling us, start your next line right here, where that straight line across is. You start it right there, and then you start coming down, right? And that's gonna help you keeping your waves perspectively right? And if it doesn't, then I will come up with some other way of telling you how to do it and keep them right? So we're gonna take our liquid white and our titanium white right there. Just make sure you have an old ruler or a yardstick, or you could literally go without having any paint on it, right? So that's gonna leave a mark. You can literally go like this and go straight over. Boom, we should be right at the bottom of this. You shouldn't be up here, shouldn't be down here, right at the bottom of our little thing. And okay, I've done it, 1,000 times, I agree. Easy for me to know when to stop, right? But you start right there, which is that straight line, and we start cutting back into it and then getting down and down and down. And the more we go, the more downward angle we're gonna have matching this guy, just like train tracks. Literal train trackicity out here, you guys. It's my new word. Scrape it out, scrape it out, scrape it out. Now let's not get too far out first, right? If you start it down too far, you've got a lot of room to make up. If I start down here and I scrape back into those waves, see how we're now creating that we're pushing them back about a foot, right? Just by scraping into it. So now we have more room. You don't always have to just follow along with the line that you're kind of guiding yourself with. You can cut it back, you can cut it forward. Just leave a little bit more room back here. And if needed, you can drop down your line, right? But the more you drop your line down, the less perspectively correct you're gonna be. Look at that little wave, little ripple in the sand. And now what we're gonna do with the rest of this liquid white and titanium white mixed in a 90-10 mixture, in case I haven't said that, we're gonna be coming down this way, just like that, right? However we want it to look is exactly what it's gonna look like. Now, if you don't feel like you have enough excess paint back here, right, let's just add a little bit. Just literally smushing it on, because I don't want it to be too crazily big, and I want it to drag nice and smoothly. All right, now I'm gonna wipe off my fan brush. Same fan brush we've been using, haven't cleaned it once, just wiped it off on paper towel, so there's literally much less paint on it, okay? Now we can come back in here and start to soften these guys. Same thing back here with our little friends. If we go over them a little bit, especially these guys, and not allow them to touch, it's gonna make that water look a little further away than our ripple-y stuff is gonna be down here on the bottom, okay? Now, we're gonna be working in a noon to 3 o'clock, more like 3:15 to noon. We're gonna be going backwards in time as we get closer to the barrel of our wave, okay? So we're gonna be coming out here and connecting onto this piece like this. And we're basically pulling straight sideways. As you can see, we're coming down at this angle like this, so we can literally pull straight sideways with our directional brush swipes, right? Try not to put too much paint in there, okay? Now, as we start clicking upwards, with each little click, we're gonna be changing this angle from straight to more and more and more and more severe, okay? And we're also going to be moving from this spot backwards. So as we're going back this way, right, each time we're going straight here, then we're gonna move back a little bit, we're gonna go up a little, we're gonna go back further, we're gonna go up a little further, back further, up a little further, back further, up a little further, and then it's all gonna come together, right? This is for the blind viewers who can't see. So we're gonna come over here and start going up, right? Each time I'm gripping a little bit further back here, rolling up a little bit higher, right? A little bit further, a little bit higher. Now you don't wanna just go straight up like a ramp. You don't wanna be pulling it backwards or going up like this, because it's gonna look like a wall of water coming at you. You're on an airplane, remember? It's anybody out there ever been on an airplane? You ever been on an airplane? Just raise your hand. Been on an airplane? Raise your hand. Let me see. Have you been out there? Do you know what an airplane is? Man, that looks cool without even having any details inside that barrel. The barrel, right? Do you know how an airplane works? An airplane works by first picking up speed as it runs down the runway and then pitching up into the air. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're picking up speed as we're running down the runway very flat. Right? We're flat lining it right here. And then once we get back into the shadow and we start our curve, and each time we do it, it's going to become brighter and brighter and brighter. And then you get to decide how much. Right now out here, we're getting flatter, 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 flatter. You can literally see the clicks, just like you can on a clock. Right? You know what an old school clock is? You remember those old school things we had back in school? They had the numbers on a round surface. It's very much like that, right? Little clock. Each time changing, starting from a different place, taking off down the runway and pitching upward. Please, for the love of Lord, don't just go straight on an angle. See what I mean? All this in front right here has to be flat. That's why we're running down the runway before we take off, okay? Now, let's go grab some of that liquid white and our titanium white over here again. So we're gonna get about a 90 to 10 mix, all right? Boom, boom, boom. This stuff is runny. They call it liquid white for a reason, because it runs like crazy. But once you mix your 10% of titanium white in it, it no longer drips, kind of binds it up, right? Initially, that stuff is drippy. I mean, hell yeah. Now, what we're gonna do underneath here is scrape up a little bit of paint or scoop up a little bit of paint, however you want to attach it. And there's only one way to mess this up. And I tell you guys all the time, what's the one way that we're gonna mess this painting up? Right? How on earth can we possibly do it? Because it's nearly impossible to mess up this part. Doesn't matter how much paint is on your canvas. Doesn't matter how much is on the blade, or how far you pull down, or whatever. I'm gonna put a little bit extra right here underneath our moon, just to have a little bit extra brightness right there. Hopefully we don't get rid of it too much, right? So what's the only way to mess this part up? There's only one thing you can do, and that is if, I'm gonna tell you right now, just in case you don't know the answer. You see how this one was a little bit longer. It looks like a little long balloon, right? It's very faint, very bright, brightish, faintish, brightish, faintish. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You want me to fill it in over here more? Because it doesn't make a difference. But the only way to mess it up, in case you haven't figured it out by now, or in case somebody hasn't typed it into the comments by now, the only way to mess it up is if you allow these two bits of color to touch. This was white paint that was intermixing with the undercolors that are there. Down here is purple. Down here is green. You can already see it, right? It was mixing with those undercolors. So if we allow this white paint to get too close to that white paint, we're not gonna be able to tell the difference between the two. Now, I don't always go viral, but when I do, it's because I'm asking you guys a question. And that question is, does this look like wet, sandy beach? Yes or no? So we're pulling further down here, less up there. We had more paint down here, less up there, and we didn't touch except for a couple spaces. Like I said, do as I say, not as I do. And remember, if you're watching over on the tube, just give me that old like button. That's all we need, whether you're watching during the live stream or after the live stream. Just give me that little like. And I'm telling you, the more likes, the more people will come and watch. Just like on the tiki-taki, the more taps on the screen, the more people will come in, the more comments, the more everything, you guys. Now, does that look like sand? You're probably saying it looks like a waterfall, right? But what if we came out here and we started pulling all these vertical streaky poos and turning them into horizontal streaky poos? And we'll start very lightly, can see instantly where the green is and where the purple section is, right? Same paint going across the same surface. That's a brighter color, this is a darker color. Now, let's mix in some of that purple down onto our brush like this and pull it back up. Pushing it farther if we want to shrink it, right? It doesn't just have to remain the same theme. It is 1,000,000% up to us what we want it to look like, right? Now, the more brightness that you take down into your purple area, the brighter your sand's gonna be. As long as they're different colors, that's all we really need to know, right? Now, we'll go back to that very liquidy white paint. We do see a ginormous gap back here. So what we're gonna do is grabbing some of that paint, coming up here, pushing down on it, and starting to kind of cut it back and forth until it gets down over that shadow, right? See the difference here between these areas? This guy being farthest away, in my own mind, I would imagine he would have the smallest little shadow, if any shadow underneath him at all, okay? And then as it got closer to us, of course, the shadow would get bigger because we would be able to see more themes as the wave got closer to us. That doesn't mean that it needs to be enormous on our right side. We still have to shrink it down a bit because it looks a little funky when it's sitting out there without it, right? Now, right here, whenever you've got to drop down like that, turn your blade this way, right? I kind of figured this out. If you have enough, hang on, you've got enough paint on it, there. See how it's kicking that ridge right out onto the front because our blade is at that angle versus being straight, especially down here on the steep side. You gotta hold it how it would come off easiest. Is that a word? For you. Okay, now anything that we put back here, you can always come back over and literally erase. It's gone forever. You know what I mean? Totally up to us what you want it to look like. And every time we do them, they're always a bit different. Just a bit different out there. There we go. Bright. Keep that little lip, right? And then again, how big do you want your shadows to be? I don't necessarily want them to be too big. It makes my water look like it's too big, right? And so, very nice, very cool. Now we're gonna take that same wet white paint, we're gonna come out here, much less of it on the blade, right? It doesn't even all have to connect, honestly. Get down lower, you do whatever you want it to do. It doesn't have to match perfectly the angle of descent or your wave that's coming through there. Always put a little bit up there, just literally like a little splotch up there. And down here, you can scrape it back, but we're going directly horizontal. See this? We put them at this downward angle so that we can go horizontal, you guys. You gotta, right? Get it out there, boom, boom, it popped out. Came down, we're pushing harder now to get that paint to fall off, okay? Then we go back to our little fan brush. This is why you put that blob up here, so you can pull it right from the front, taking it right back, but again, straight sideways. Don't go up, don't go vertical, don't go crazy on me, okay? Out there, straight sideways. In the night. Fabulous. Doesn't that look like a little bit of crazy old little sea foam out there that's just come up and gotten stuck? Isn't that awesome? Quite literally awesome. Just earned a follow. Thank you. Appreciate you. Now, as we get up here, right, we can determine. That looks perfect to me. It looks completely natural. But if I wanted it to be a bit brighter, have a little lip, I would go back with more paint, put it back on there. Okay? Now, every so often, drop something, but again, horizontally, not diagonal, not vertical. Please don't go crazy, right? The more little bits you drop off, the more like foam and the more realistic it looks like. Now, you don't have to do them all with your palette tool because here comes everyone's favorite part. We're going to be splashing on and flicking literal flicks of blasting water and our sand plus bubbles on the top of our little area right here. So you guys just sit tight and check it out, man. Now, big thing, right, that we may not say all the time. I do not use a monstrous brush to do the flicks because you will flick on globs or streaks of paint. We use a smaller version of the brush, right? Just a smaller size, so it will purposely hold less paint and you will not flick globs. Use the smaller one, okay? Now here we go. We're gonna get out here with a little bit extra of our liquid white, piling it on top of our blade like that, right? Turn it over, get the whole tips of the bristles kind of equally stuck with paint. Now, if you get up here and you real hard through there, you're gonna flick an insane amount. If you just get up here very lightly and just let them drag off, you might only flick off a little bit of paint, right? That's when it becomes up to you and how much paint you put on your brush or your blade and the amount of force that you are using to blast those little bits of water. Did you think we painted every single one? Like, hang on, let me do. You know how annoying that would be? I'm gonna come down here now into this space and then let them pop out into my barrel just a little bit. Don't need to go crazy. If you're too close, you're gonna pop out too big of a bright spot, almost like we just did right there. In which case, because this liquid white is so wet already, right? You can honestly just literally get back in there and cut back our little line, whatever it is, okay? Now, same thing, because now they're very fine, there's not a lot of paint left, I can get down here into my sand and flick on about 10,000 little bits. The more that I go, the less paint is in my brush, the less paint is on the blade, the harder I have to then flick. I can get them into my sandy little retraction area because they'll look like stars in the sky. Put a couple of stars in there, bam, just like that. Literally, guys. Isn't that amazing? Now, you've got to come up with a chidel and help Schlitz and her husband, which I can't, Brian? No. Sounds right, but it's probably wrong. There we go. There. Always got to finger paint at least a little bit with old paint job, right? Now, the more that you get in here too, if you wanted to, if you drug up high enough, you can get some of those bits of darker paint to come up into the eye with no paint left on the brush, just using the paint that's there, rotating back in those things. Now you'll have that little bit of foam as it rolls over and crashes down. So you guys got to come up with a title. Schlitz is our lucky, well, no, I guess not lucky, but our customer. So she gets to choose the title. Her man get to choose the title of this one. Well, I clean off all these brushes. So they're probably most likely watching on TikTok. So if you are on TikTok, your titles will be shown to the purchaser of the painting. Right? They've already got this. It's no long. It wasn't even available when we started. They got it yesterday, I think. Maybe it was earlier today. I can't. Literally all the days blend into each other. I have no idea what's going on. Over here, over there, perfect. So, Schlitz is gonna have to come up with the title for this one. Right? Looking fan-chabulous. And then, if you wanted, okay, it's completely up to you. The more that you put down in here, the more you have the, the ability to mess up. Right? You don't want to put too many little foamy details in there. Honestly, you don't. Because the more you do, the more bright everything gets. And on a black canvas, we need it to stay dark. So let's not put in too stinking many. And if they do get bright, you got to go over them a lot in order to shrink them back down. Isn't that cool? That's nice. That's nice. Take some back here too. Yes, if you can just get them to fall off the blade backwards, it's hard to do. If you could do it, it really makes them look neat. Isn't that cool? Fabulous, my friends. And then again, if you didn't like them, or if you had an area that you didn't like, come back, take it out. That liquid white, titanium white is so gentle and easy to play with, you guys. So, I got one more brush to clean up. You guys have to come up with a title for Schlitz. and let them know. Like I said, if you're watching on TikTok, that's where they're probably watching. And so, they'll be able to see your comments more easily. More easilier. Now, we're going to do this last brush onto the table. And then I'm going to be there to read out some comments, suggestions, and see if they've chosen. All right, we got Mystic Blue, Twilight Splash. I love that. In fact, guys, we almost forgot. Keep coming up with them titles. We almost forgot the brightness underneath our moon area. Just a little bit of our liquid white and titanium white mix. All right, and then you want to touch it to where you don't go over it as much. So you get that bink on our top of our water, and then directly underneath, just add a few more little bits of maybe that moonlight. Getting larger and larger and larger as they get close to us. Fantastic. Okay. Yes, that one came out awesome. Awesome. You're amazing. Amazing, you guys. Mystic Arrival Esmeralda, Jaded Knight. I like those. We're going to put the birds in. Don't worry. We're going to add the birds. We'll put the birds in. Emerald Seas, I like. I like it. Swish, my life. Feel you. Feel it. There's something I see. Let me come back. There we go. It's a little thing. Can't be too dark. You know what I mean? It's got to be a little dark, but it can't be too dark. Okay, we're going to put the birds in, so I hope Schlinst is watching or can let me know what you want that title to be, because we're about to be donezoed. This is a nice little simple little guy. Not too terribly long in the show. Let's come way up here. I'm just gonna go caca, flying in the night. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, let's throw these guys down here. Just like that. And then old Schlinst is gonna give me a title, I hope. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to pick a title. Magical Night, that's a great title right there. I saw someone say Midnight Glow, and I like it. So Midnight Glow, you guys, is now the name of this little painting. Out here, make our little ridge just a little bit brighter. Just with the old Paint Josh liner brush. The most fabulous of brushes you'll ever see, my friends. Wow, that's cool. Okay, Midnight Glow, she done said. And that is cute, guys, I like it. Okay, that back, we're gonna grab the old marker, we'll grab the old DeWalt over here. Just like so. This guy all taken out, swapped around. Midnight Glow. Fabulous. Am I saying that right? Guys on TikTok, can you just pin that so I know that I have the right one? I'm pretty sure. This one's number 2089? 9? Right, Cosmic? Because you just got, or is it 2090? I think it might be 2090. Midnight Glow. Is it 2090? I'm pretty sure it's 2090. Right? Because Cosmic, can you go look at the number of the one you just got? Because I'm running all 3 devices. I can go grab it out of the back, but it's going to take me longer to do. Midnight? Oh, it's Midnight Glow. Okay, so it's 2090 for this one. All right. Let's get over here. Number 2090. That's insane. Midnight Glow. Very cool, guys. This one was painted on 10/6, 2026. Didn't really work that time. And we're all gonna go check out Paint with Josh. Of course, .com right there. Perfect. Amazing. That's where you guys gotta go to find all the rest of them, man. Gonna be cool. See if we can get any bites. Gonna be cool there. We casted. We'll see. Colette. Is it 2025? Did I write the wrong thing on there? Hang on, I'm gonna flip you guys around real quick. Did I just, it's sometimes it happens. It's Murphy's Law when that happens. You guys know Murphy's Law, right? Colette. Was it Colette? Did I miss that? Schlinst. Didn't it come out so excellently? Guys, hang on one second, and then we'll do the outro. I just wanna let you guys in on it. Is it 2025? Can we pin her so I can see her comment again? Colette. Or Cole T. One of the two. 44. You got to answer my question, okay? I just want to, thank you, I appreciate that. I just want to know, have you ever heard of Murphy's Law? Because I live by this law. Like literally, it's my life, right? Have you ever heard of it? It's called, thank you, Colette, I appreciate you. Said 2026. See, that's my own fault. That's my dyslexia right there. And of course, Murphy's Law, right? If it can happen, it will happen. I'm going to mess up during a live show. So I just want to ask you one more question, Colette. Is it Colette or is it Cole T? I can't figure it out. Do you know this other guy named Cole? It'd be funny if your name was Cole and their name was Cole, right? This guy wrote a law that's very much like Murphy's Law, but it's very art-based and much more obscure. So if you don't know it, maybe you never heard of the guy, which is totally fine. I'd never heard of the guy either. But I can tell you what it is very simply and very easily if you've ever heard of it, or never heard of it, excuse me. By the way, can I just be famous for writing down one sentence like Murphy, this Murphy's Law guy? Right? So just anytime, answer my question, Let's see. Answer my question. I'm assuming it's Colette. But wouldn't you think it would be like TTE at the end instead of just ET? ET. Ouch. Colette, do you know this guy that wrote a law, right? Very much like Murphy's Law. And it was much more to do with art. His name is Cole, by the way. Much more to do with art, and it'd be funny if your name was Cole. But have they left? Have we wasted all this time trying to get an answer out of you? Did you already leave? That's what I want. Just Cole T. Okay. So it is Cole instead of Colette. I'm sorry. My fault. I'm just reading it as I see it, right? Wow, amazing. So who we got over here? Crazy Hawk says they have never heard of this guy named Cole, right? Anybody else out there? Or did Cole leave? Like, it would have been so perfect if it was Cole. Because we're talking about this other guy named Cole, right? Right? So, guys, for all the people that are wondering, maybe you've never heard of this guy. It's strange to me that you've never heard of Cole's Law before, because Cole's Law, I thought, was much more popular. It's like, man, I'm going to show the other cameras first. It's like mayonnaise and carrots and like cabbage and maybe some onions. You've never had Cole's Law before? Like, literally? I thought it was more popular than that. But, I mean, some people never have. I don't like it. It's really cold and wet and slimy and gross. It's foul. Just foul, that Cole's Law. But if you've never had it before, man, you guys are, I mean, you might like it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you won't like it, so. Did you fall for my dumb dad joke, by the way? Did I hook, line, and sinker you? I literally said at the beginning, we've cast it out. See if we get any bites. I literally said, see if we get any bites. Immediately, Cole bit on my bit. And then like 6 other people bit, and we reeled them all in, pulled them up onto the boat, and we're taking pictures with all of you. So if you fell for my dumb, silly coleslaw joke, then by law, Cole's Law, you have to go to paintwithjosh.com and grab yourself a Cole's Law shirt, because I have 2 of them. And you'll run into someone else, literally, in the world that has the same shirt. And you'll be like, you fell for it too? Yeah, he got me too. Then you guys could form like a club. It's going to be really cool. So, you got his Coleslaw shirt. He loves it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I use oil paint. And yeah, so by law, Cole's Law. And if you're not doing it, you're breaking the law. Then, yeah, you guys are amazing. So I'm going to say goodbye to the YouTube crew and the Facebook crew. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see your versions of this painting. Not too difficult as far as technicality. There's no big rocks or anything like that. Just nice, soft, little crashing. And honestly, I can't wait to see your version. So whether you're painting it right now during the live show or painting it months in advance, or maybe even tomorrow, send it in to me because I want to see how you did with the tutorial. If you were able to follow along well enough, where I need to sort of explain more, right? So please send them in to me. It's at official Paint with Josh over on Facebook, at Paint with Josh K on Instagram, Paint with Josh K on TikTok, and Paint with Josh over on YouTube. You guys can find more than 2,700 videos on my YouTube, most of them in the live section. And until I see you guys again next time, I'll be back again on YouTube on Thursday. We're going on to our 2 days off. It's my weekend, Friday. Whoop, whoop. So, love you guys. Can't wait to see what you can do. Send them in. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And bye. You guys. Oh, it looks so good from over here. Oh, my goodness. It's amazing.